entertainment, current events, and Hollywood. Don't miss Creator to Creators, hosted by the filmmaker Meosha Bean, known for the Shudder hit documentary Horror Noir and the acclaimed film Anatomy of an Anti-Hero, Redemption. This show features interviews with filmmakers and creatives from around the globe. Join the fun with guest celebrities and gain valuable insights. Subscribe now and follow Creator to Creators.
Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Creators to Creators. Today we have a special guest.
Aaron Erol Ozlevi. I'm a director. I'm also adjunct professor at USC, teaching directing actors to senior students.
I love that. I love going back to the beginning. I always say the beginning kind of charts our trajectory in life, like little things that we pick up along the way that kind of follow us into our adulthood. Tell me a little bit about your childhood. What was that like? And kind of how did you find your way into, doing the things that you're doing now?
All right. Thank you for asking this question. I was a dreamer all the time since I was a kid. I remember looking at at that time we had these walls that had some kind of illustrations, like little patterns on the wallpaper, and I remember seeing different shapes each time I'm looking at these and creating different images, and that was kind of like my mom thought that I'm a very visual guy. That I didn't know. I started replicating the book covers, imitating all the drawings around me. So based on that, during high school, I started going to studying fine arts. And that led to me going to a fine arts school, studying visual arts for like a year. I was just drawing black and white and everything around me. Then eventually I got into college on fine arts, graphic design, and I became a successful student. Although, during my high school years, because I was a dreamer, I wasn't that much into the classes that I was attending to. And I was born in Istanbul, in Turkey. And my parents, actually, my ancestors are immigrants from Spain. So I grew up in a Spanish-speaking house. My grandparents were only speaking Spanish with my parents. So that kind of gave me a different feeling, because outside there was this, I was speaking Turkish. Inside home, I was speaking Spanish with the parents, although my main language was Turkish. So that combination between art and having a diverse culture in the house kind of let me find my way. And I wanted to come to US to go to film school while I was studying fine arts. I had this amazing Canadian professor. I took this video production course at the second year. And he said, you have to, study film. You're very good in that, which I had no idea. So my grades were so good in fine arts. I got accepted at Emerson College, Boston.
Nice.
And of course, the first year I studied English, and then I started my studies. Eventually, I started working in advertising agencies while I was going to school.
Nice.
And that I was kind of like paying my bills and everything while I was working I started as an intern, but I was doing most of all my life. I was working in advertising agencies, even in Turkey. I started as an illustrator, doing placemats, all kind of illustrations. So I kind of created a portfolio. So while I was going to Emerson College, I applied for the internship. I started being an intern doing basic graphic design, and which eventually, after I graduated, I started working there as an art director. Then I start moving to New York, started working in a bigger advertising agencies. Um, and then eventually, one of the creative directors, since I knew how to shoot films, suggested that why don't you, shoot your own commercials
Oh,
like you guys
nice.
are already writing. Which eventually I had my spec commercials, which eventually led me to become a commercial director. And then it turned out to be a feature film director and then TV director. So all that combination growing up in, diverse culture, mixing with art, made me who I am today.
That's so interesting. Yeah. I mean, so cool how all of that plays. And then even, just how all of that, I always find it interesting, like our everything that we go through kind of plays an important part, or as I'd say it's like a part of the puzzle of like just even creatively. I mean, such as your film, that and your work of art, like you have an amazing resume. I watched a few of your projects, and I got to just to see the recent one that they sent me the link to, and I was like, wow, it's just, first of all, beautifully shot, that the things that you're talking about in it, it's very important film. So
Thank you.
yeah, of course. I'm just curious of like as far as like like what motivated you to tell this particular story that's set against that backdrop, you know of Istanbul, right? And then how did you
Yeah,
kind of find hope to illuminate like that like historical context, right, of like to a American audience, and just an audience in general, like bringing this kind of story to such a to life. It's so heavy. It's a lot.
it is
It's
heavy. You're
amazing.
so right. Ottoman Empire has been ruling for like 650 years, I guess.
Wow.
More than 600. Among a very big geography,
Yeah.
which is including Balkans, Bulgarians, Romanians,
Yeah.
Greeks, Turks, Arabs. Um, and that was a very cosmopolitan culture. So when it became Turkey, the land shrank, but the minorities that was around the capitals like
Mm,
Ankara, Izmir, Istanbul, they stay there, especially Greeks. But
mm,
there are like Armenian minority groups, Jewish minority groups, Greek minority groups among the Muslim population, and they lived very freely during Ottoman ruling and as well as in Turkish the Republican ruling. Um, but there was also some historical conflicts, especially when after the First World War, when Ottoman Empire dissolved and transitioned to becoming a republic, Republic of Turkey. Um, there was a conflict between Greece and Turkey, which affected the Greek minorities. They were Turkish citizens, but they were Greek minorities, especially the conflict between Cyprus, for Cyprus, between Greece and Turkey. So, and I was also a minority in Turkey. Like I said, my background is very different. Um, so I grew up in Princess Island where the movie is taking a place.
okay.
Um, it's an island, it's a beautiful island.
Hmm.
It's more like any classic Greek island like Mykonos. It's the same way the Princess Island in Istanbul. It's like half an hour away from the city. And just a half an hour of commute, you're in a different, I would say, a different place
Wow.
than Istanbul. And so I grew up there. It was an amazing childhood. Uh, there was no cars, only bikes and horse cars.
Wow.
So it was kind of a safe environment. It was very fun time. We had good restaurant, good music, good clubs. Um, so the story where Eleni's father and Eleni's family is taking is happening in Princess Island.
Mm,
And so growing up there, I knew a lot about the culture. But also my first feature film, it was a rom-com that became a big box office hit,
Nice.
which got the attention of the producer. It's because the first film I shot was like a $2.5 million budget, and it brought up like $8.5 million in box office. So
Nice.
that immediately got the attention of this producer, who is the biggest at that time, the biggest producer in terms of he's been there for, in the business for 40 years.
Wow. Long
He
time.
he started all the trends of TV channels, all the video companies. At that time, video was a big thing. So when he called me, to me, it was like, oh wow, Turker İnanoğlu is calling me. So I went to the meeting and he said, I like what you did with the box office. Now I have this period drama piece. It's about Greek minorities. I like you to shoot that. I said, thank you. I'm honored. And I read the script. I love the script.
Nice.
And I felt personal connection there because I know what it is to be a minority there. I was raised, as Jewish. So they're only, as Greek population, Jewish population is very minority
Mhm.
there. So it was kind of similar to my experience. I know what it is and to be a little bit different, not all the way different, because at the end of the day, we're all the same.
Right.
It's different cultural experience. Um, and it was a very common thing, like a Muslim guy marrying a Christian girl, a Jewish girl
Mm,
marrying a Muslim guy. There was all intermarriages, but it's been always a problem among those communities.
very
Um,
interesting.
yeah, it is. Because in Ottoman Empire, all these minorities, they lived together and they traded, but they were kind of conservative when it came to, you know, exchanging daughters and
Wow.
having intermarriages. Um, so the populations, there was never actual mixing.
Mm,
Unlike, unlike America, that was a more of a conservative culture in every for every culture, like for
mm,
Muslim communities, for Greek communities, they never exchanged. They never became one family. That was very interesting, and same for the Jewish population as well. So, and because these two young people are from different background, they go to the same college, they fell in love. Um, so the father, the Greek father, was a very well respected uh, Greek businessman who considers himself Turkish, who considers himself that he belongs to that country, not Greeks. Not he chose not to go to Greece. He chose to stay in Turkey.
mm.
But again, the dilemma was he did not marry. He did not want his daughter to marry um, a Muslim guy in a way, and that was his conflict. So when I read that, the dilemmas and the challenges were automatically in the script, and because it's happening in Princess Island, I know how beautifully it is. We can tell this story visually.
Mm,
Uh,
mhm.
I immediately get interested with the script, and I was happy to assign to that project as a director.
Absolutely. I mean, it's just so it's gorgeous. Like I was like, wow, like just even that time, and that
Yeah,
period. I think it's so important. Like it just visually, just you're just like immersed in this world. And it's like, wow. So I mean, kudos to you and like your team. It's I mean, fantastic
yeah.
work. Um,
Yeah, we had an amazing, amazing crew of actors. I mean, without them, nothing we did would work. I should first thank to the actors. They were
yeah,
great.
absolutely. I'm just curious of the journey of the main character, right? Like the certain challenges, right, that he had to face, and how did he reflect, on his experiences, right, as a minority, right? It's just the approach of how you did it, like as a director to an actor, and how that.
Sure. Well, first of all, Mahir Günç, right? He's an amazing actor. So I'm
Yeah,
lucky. I was lucky to have to work with him.
yeah,
Uh, he was one of the most respected actors in the Turkish acting community.
amazing.
Very well trained. He's been in multiple theaters, put a lot of plays. He's been also in multiple TV shows, feature films. So when you have a big actor like him,
Yeah.
as a director, my job was super easy. He was totally bringing out the character and the scenes so well. Um, but again, we had to shape this character because Meyer is he's not Greek. He's Turkish, so he's
Right.
playing this Greek businessman. So what we did is, and because his dilemma was also, he's super friendly. He was super. He was a great boss towards his. There were some scenes that we shot, but we later on we took it out. That how nice he was to his workers, that he cares about them. He was connecting with them on a personal level, which made him very human.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Hmm.
on the other hand, when and he was also, we also talked about this with him while we were studying the character. His weak point is his daughter, as
Hmm.
is expected. Any father towards their daughter,
Yeah.
especially in a culture like in a Turkish culture, it used to be a very macho oriented culture where,
Oh, okay.
uh, well, actually, there is also some conflict in what I'm saying. It seems like, since it is kind of Middle East, um, and even today, the girls, women are not treated as equally under the surface.
Mm,
Not by law, everybody's treated well,
right.
but there's so many mistreatment towards women and girls. Um, and so we want to portray that how much he cares about his daughter, um, like almost s- double and triple, like super, he's caring so much about his daughter.
Hmm.
So that gave us an angle. Like
Yeah.
we want to portray this super charismatic, powerful personality. He knows how to deal with government officers, even with presidents. He's in that level. He had French friends everywhere in the government. So with one call, he can take care of business
Yeah.
and any permission. But on the other hand, when it comes to his daughter, he's super weak
Yeah.
and
I love that dynamic.
yeah. So when this guy who's from another culture wants to marry his daughter, he was like, he kind of, for the first time probably, he didn't know what to do.
Yeah. It,
And that gave us an angle how to portray him. Like we want to make sure that we create this super powerful, charismatic character, almost in a way like a little bit cold.
yeah.
But when it comes to his daughter, he's like super warm, very giving, very communicative. Um, and it was great. Like every time I was coming into the scene, the it was just a pure joy to have him, fulfill the screen.
And I love that. I love those kind of characters like that, when you're developing character and just like those like the nuances of it. Like he's such a powerful man and also feared, right, by many, but also it's like his daughter is like, oh, he's just a human. It's like he's just a father and he just loves his kid and he wants the best for his daughter, which is like I think every father's, well, good dads uh goal for their kid, just to have the best for their children or want the best for their kids. And but and letting go of that, you know like reign of like, okay, that's my daughter and she's in love with someone, but I can't, because I love her, I don't want to. But that conflict, it's just so, I love stories like that within so many things that are happening around this heavy film. There is love in the film, so I love that, how you portrayed that. It was just, it's brilliant work. It's so cool.
Thank you. Thank you. Also, the writers, the producers, it was a teamwork. We did it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's incredible stuff. I think it's interesting to talk about minority and just that word. I hate kind of using it. I hate saying it, because it feels like it's so like little belittling. It's like minority, but Um, do you feel like today are things kind of, obviously it's changed, but are there still some things that in Istanbul, like, is it still kind of that separation going on today?
I mean, on the surface, no, there's never a separation on the surface.
That's good.
Um, like every citizen is protected by law.
Yeah.
So it's a very it's a democratic country for sure.
Yeah.
But on cultural level, there is a separation. There has been always a separation. It's not in a negative way. It's just
Okay.
that the way cultures are like there was an interaction between among the cultures all the time.
Yeah.
Uh, and now it's getting even more mixed right now. And also demography of Turkey within the current day is changing. Right now,
Nice.
uh, most of the Greeks left because of this conflict.
Mm,
Most of the Jews left. Most of the Armenians left. So, and now it's mostly more minorities coming from the Middle East in today's demographical picture. Um, but in terms of the cultural exchange, um, in Turkey in general it is very respected. It's respectful among the other cultures.
that's
And
wonderful.
that's how the foundation of the Ottoman Empire was, like to
Mm,
make sure that every culture is protected, equally served by the government.
nice.
Um, but cultural exchange wise, no, there has not been that much of like intermarriages among different cultures.
Mm,
Even still today, it doesn't exist.
hmm.
It's it's just not. I mean, it is coming. It is becoming more and more every day.
Yeah.
But it's not a common thing.
Interesting. Huh. That's interesting. Um, so I have a fun question, and there's no wrong answer, but I love asking this question. The three levels of influence: money, power, and respect. And if you could choose only one of those things, which one would you choose and why?
Money, power, and respect.
Mhm.
I would choose the respect.
Nice. Why?
Um, um, because I feel like in any of these terms will get respect eventually. Money will get respect, and power will get respect. But I feel like the respect are coming towards these channels. Like if it's coming from money, then that's not really respect. If it's coming from because of a power, that's not real respect. But if I can get respect for being who I am, I will be very happy. Eventually, the rest will come, and I wouldn't want people to respect me because of money or because of power. I would want them to respect me because of who I am.
I love that. That's a great answer. I like that. What
Thank
do
you.
you want people to walk away with after seeing this film? What do you want the message that, or you hope the message that people walk away with after watching this film?
I would say discrimination, I would say wars, um, conflict among different cultures, different countries, is not good. Like there has been wars throughout the beginning of history, and
Mhm.
I don't think we have gained anything by fighting or killing each other. Um, yeah, they say that governments are fighting, but as it is in this film, they're just two young souls who just love each other, who go to the same college, who grew up in the same island. They just love each other, and they're being affected because of a conflict between two countries for another piece of land. Whereas,
Mm,
uh, I believe like the world belongs to us. These invisible boundaries are separating us from each other, and I'm against that. I feel like the whole world should be one country, but it's a big utopic thinking, but that's what I feel like. That's why I love this country so much, because we have less boundaries among the cultures in this country.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and the border are actually is in our mind, um, not outside. We, humankind, who are creating these borders and telling some people they can go, they cannot go,
Yeah.
which is eventually creating a conflict and creating wars and creating death and all sadness. So what I would want at the end of this film is I would want people to think that um, are we are we in the right track if we're thinking that separation is good? Whereas
Mm.
um, like instead of trying to understand each other, like I personally think that when the lead character did not allow his daughter to he was against all this marriage, I would ask like what did he gain with that?
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Only pain and suffer throughout the years, and eventually he finds out that he made a mistake, and the guy that he was against has actually saved his wealth, which is why I like the story, because there's a great twist.
Mm-hmm.
The antagonist eventually became protagonist for the main guy. So he saved his life. In a way, he saved his wealth. So he regretted just because of the prejudice that he was hoping that in the future they will have, or he was guessing that they will have this conflict because of cultural differences. That's what happens in the main scene. Like, what is gonna happen? How are you gonna raise your children, Christian or Muslim?
Mm.
Uh, they gonna go to church or are they gonna go to mosque? All these questions are being asked, and I kind of understand that. He's a father, and
Yeah.
he's worried about the future of his daughter. Um, but then again, if you look at United States, where there's so many intermarriages, where diversity is the main um, goal,
Yeah.
and, and it's working when you look at it. Different cultures are united under one nation.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, why not? Why not? Why are we blocking ourselves? So that's what I would want people to think
I
and
like
have sympathy towards each culture.
I love that. I love that. And thank you for taking on an important, you know, project like this. I think it's really necessary to, I think it's so cool that we get to do and tell and stories that I would say move the needle forward in a way, like somehow make people think differently about something, maybe going into something. So it's really cool that, this story is that you brought it to life. And so thank you
Yeah,
for,
thank you.
doing
Yeah.
it. I think that,
Again, thanks to my actors, thanks to the producers and the writers, and the crew behind.
yeah.
It was challenging and one of the challenges was our budget was limited, and this was a period piece.
Yeah.
Um, so we had to, whichever the location we go to, there were so many obstacles, like you know, holes around. There was everything. Wherever we turned the camera, everything was looking pretty contemporary. So it was important for us to, because I like scenery, I like to have wide lenses and show as much as I can.
Hmm.
Uh, so that was a kind of a challenge in a period film.
Yeah.
So I had a great team that we achieved that together.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Do you think that you've and I'm just curious of, like, obviously, we get to do such an awesome job, tell stories for a living, right? Do you feel like you've found your purpose,
Um, you mean in terms of being a storyteller?
or just in life in general, of like just where you are in your life? Do you feel like yeah, this is my purpose, this is what I'm supposed to be doing for the rest of my life?
That's for sure. I cannot be doing anything else.
I love that.
Yeah, for sure. I've been doing this like in the beginning. I started as a dreamer.
Mm.
The other things like did not work for me. I knew I'm a naturally born visualizer. That's
Oh,
when I read scripts, I already see everything in my mind, all the
that's
locations.
beautiful.
They take me to empty spaces. I can easily put furnitures in my mind, flip them in 360. I can see everything just from one angle, and I can already see it from the other angle. It's like kind of an AI. So
Yeah.
that's why my brother calls me, you're a dreamer. So, and I in the beginning I didn't understand whether he mean it in a good way or a bad
Yeah.
way. But for a storyteller, it's a good thing to be a dreamer. Like,
Absolutely.
so
Absolutely.
yeah, this is who I am. I don't think I can be somebody else.
That's a wonderful thing. I think that's a wonderful place to be when you I feel like that's like such a I think a lot of people are going through life trying to figure it out and they don't really know. But it's
Mhm.
something when you know who you are, it's like it's it's a beautiful place to be.
Yeah, I know who I am, but to answer your question really accurately, I'm still searching for the meaning, by the way. I still don't know the meaning. I'm still looking
Mm.
for it because I'm
Interesting.
thinking a lot, success, money, power, respect. You can have all these values. Um, but what is the meaning? I'm still looking for it. Like, what's the purpose? What's the purpose of everything going on around us? I mean,
Yeah.
you doing what you are, I'm doing what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
What's the purpose? And that question, I'm still looking for it, for the answer.
Yeah. No, I love that. Absolutely. Where can people find you on social media to follow everything you got going on?
My Instagram account. Uh, it's I am recently very active in that, and my Instagram account is pretty good to reflect what I'm doing in my professional life.
Awesome. Well, everyone follow for sure. And watch and support everything you got going on. Like, I mean, it's just so lovely to meet someone that is creating and putting out meaningful things in the world. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
It's
It was
refreshing.
lovely. I appreciate your questions.
Thank you so much for coming on. I had a blast. It's crazy how 30 minutes go by so fast. It's like, what's
Yes.
happening right now?
Shall I give my Instagram link?
Yeah, please do.
Okay. It's
Yeah,
Aaron, Aaron dot Erol dot Ozlevi.
love it.
Aaron Erol Ozlevi with the before the after the at, I guess. So there's a dot in between each name.
Nice, nice. I love it. Thank you so much for coming on. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you. Great.
And thank you all for listening. And always remember to live, love, laugh. We'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.